So this is a review of the Bamboo Bullet Journal from Amazon. It comes in this really nice cardboard box. And here it is. It's very nice. It comes in a really nice thick bamboo cover with a leather binding. The paper is also all made out of bamboo. It's a very thick, hefty book. It's a little over 2 pounds. Exact weight is on the description on the Amazon. The reason why it's so hefty is it's 160 GSM pages. So it is really nice. It also comes with two bookmarks. The only problem is that it doesn't come with a back pocket or a pen loop. I already did some preliminary pen testing with my wettest watercolor brush pen, a gel pen, a felt tip pen, my Sakura Micron, and a Milky Pop gel pen, which is the wettest gel pens I have. If you look at the back, there's virtually no ghosting and definitely no bleeding. And when it came to the smudge tests, there was no smudging with the felt tip pen or the Sakura Micron even immediately. With my Pilot gel pen, which does dry pretty quickly for a gel pen, it did have some smudging right away, but very little. My Milky Pop gel pen, which is a very wet gel pen, did smudge pretty well right after, but it didn't smudge at all after only 10 seconds. So the smudging in this is very good. It dries pretty quickly without smudging, but the paper is still very smooth feeling, like it was coated, but it doesn't smudge like a coated paper would. Now, the only pens that I haven't tried yet are the Sharpies, which I'm not expecting to, not sure how super well they're going to do because they are alcohol-based. So you have a felt tip Sharpie, here, which apparently probably is running low on ink, but yeah, we got no ghosting or bleeding with the felt tip one. So the Sharpie felt tip is fine, or the fine tip. But the regular Sharpie actually did really well. There is some minimal shadowing with the writing, and with the squaring you got a little bit of bleeding, but not too much. For a Sharpie, that's actually very good. I wouldn't use Sharpies in my bullet journal, though. Then I wanted to do the stamps, because I do like to stamp my bullet journal, and I have had problems in the past with my 120 GSM. So I was hoping to get one that stamped real well, and I haven't yet tried. So everything I'm going to do with a really thick stamp. And the first one I'm doing is my Memento Luxe ink pad, which is mixed media. And this one doesn't ink super well. It's not super wet, but it does also, because that doesn't bleed through too well. I'm going to stamp all of them, and then we'll check the ghosting and bleeding, because that gives them some time to dry. Now I am using the Studio G pigment ink. Pigment ink usually is pretty dark and thick and very wet. It also takes longer to dry. And you get that when you drop it. All right. Then I have Distress Ink by Tim Holtz in Fired Brick, because that's the darkest color I have. And lastly, I have my chalk ink. Chalk inks dry very quickly, so this one I've had the best results with in the past. And I'm using the eggplant color. Okay, I think that's probably okay. And no bleeding, no ghosting. That's fantastic. I'm gonna be able to stamp using whatever ink I want to and not have to worry about it. Now I'm going to use the Perfect Pearls and Perfect Copper. I have used these a lot recently in my bullet journal, and I've gotten pretty bad bleed through and definite ghosting, so we are going to try this. Okay, I just put a little bit, that was probably a little bit much, on the wax paper. Usually I use a spray bottle to do this, but I forgot, so I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit with my finger on the wax paper. And I just pick up a little bit of water, a little bit of this. I'm basically making my own watercolor here. And that's very watery. And pick up a little bit more pigment, see if I can get some where it's a little bit more thick. There it is, thicker. Now that's definitely going to take some time to dry. And then I'm going to take a watercolor brush pen and put some on a acrylic block. Take my watercolor brush, add some water in. This is what I use for watercolors because I don't have a good watercoloring pan, but I have plenty of brush pens. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and let that dry. Okay, it should be dry now. And it didn't fare so well under the watercolors. I've got a little, we've got no bleeding or ghosting with the Perfect Pearls. We did get a little bit of page warpage, but we did get some bleeding with the watercolor brush pen, which is a little disappointing, but it does fare better than my 120 GSM paper. So I'd say overall, I'm very happy with this book. It is what it advertised. If you're just using pens, you won't have any problem with it whatsoever, or even stamps. You might want to go a little bit easy on the watercoloring if you want to do watercolors with it. Overall, I would give it a 4 out of 5, and the only reason is because I had some issues with the watercoloring and it doesn't come with a pen loop. If it came with the pen loop and it took to watercolors a little bit better, then it would get a 5 out of 5. So that's my review.